everybody. Just waiting a second for a couple people to come in. Sorry about the technical difficulties. For some reason, my PowerPoint did not want to go on today, so we're not doing the meditation, but we'll do a small activation. Full moon. I blame it on the full moon because seriously, it kept me up last night. The energy was literally like you can feel it buzzing. It's crazy. Okay, everybody's here. Cool. Awesome. Yay. Hi. Hey, Gabriel, Astrid. It feels so good to see everybody again. Hey, Angelica, Quentin, Agaya. Hi. Cool. So I want to get right into it. And Christopher, hi. You were just owner for a second, so I had no clue who you were. Awesome. So I want to get right into some content because then we're going to jump right into doing core belief work with Quentin and anybody else who feels in alignment. Astrid, did you change your hair? Because it just looks really nice. Sorry, I had to mention it. I don't know if you did or not, but it looks nice. Okay, so let's get right into the content because there's some things that, as always, come up. Some of them we've talked about before. Some of them we've never talked about before. So I'm going to get right into a little bit of content, and then we're going to try to get right into the core belief work. And I really want to try to leave some time to just talk at the end and find out how everybody's experience has been and find out what's been going on in your lives and just connect and really allow that to be a part of the program per day is to really connect with one another. So some of the things that have been coming up recently, let's do an activation first. Let's do a small heart space activation because I have something special that I want to do that's a little bit different for that. So everybody just breathing into their body, getting themselves into a comfortable space. Hey, Ruby, thanks for joining us, sweetie. So everybody just really getting themselves prepared to activate their heart space, to become one with their heart space. Breathing into the body. Feeling our connection to Mother Earth. Feeling her love for us. Feeling our connection to all that is. Feeling the part of ourselves that is ethereal, that is non-physical, that is everything and nothing at the same time, that is oneness and unity. Feeling into this energy that is within us, this power that is within us. Allowing ourselves to really acknowledge this power, acknowledge that we are creators and that sometimes on earth some things, shitty things happen, but we are here. Feeling into our connection to the earth and affirming in our mind, I am safe, I'm connected. Feeling your connection to the entire earth consciousness grid. That is your connection to every single person on this earth. That is your connection to every plant and every animal on this earth. That is your connection to Mother Earth herself. Feel roots growing from the bottom of your feet, deep down, deep down, deep down into the earth. And allow yourself to connect to the energy of the earth and take in her beautiful primal energy. Take in her love. Let yourself release any tension in the body. You can choose this moment to shake up your shoulders, your neck, any tension that might be there. Breathing into the body. Just like the ocean, and moving in. And moving out. Allowing yourself to connect. Breathing in. and out. Really don't be afraid to give a deep exhale. This is really what's going to allow you to affirm within your physical vessel that you are safe. You're safe in this moment. You're surrounded by friends, and we are all connecting through the astral right here, right now. In more ways than just on video, we are connecting spiritually. We're connecting physically through our devices, but we are connecting ethereally with each other. Allow yourself to feel how supported you are from Mother Earth and how much she loves you, how much she is here for you. If anybody is still feeling their mind keeping them, out of their heart, I want you to affirm that that is okay. And I want you to allow yourself to drop into your heart, just like in that meditation that we did together, literally taking your consciousness and allowing yourself to drop deep into your heart, into your space of just feeling, just being. And in this place of feeling and being, feel your connection to all that is. Feel how much Mother Earth loves you. She has always been there for you, whether you've known it, whether you have allowed it. She has always been there for you and always loved you. You are an extension of her body. And as she moves through you, you move through her. It is a beautiful union. It is an intimate union. And she can never, will never, does never abandon you. From the moment you take your first breath on this earth to even before that, in the beginning of the stages in the womb, she is infinitely holding you and connecting you with you always. She is always there for you. She is always supporting you. And whenever it feels like she isn't, something in you is blocking it for a certain experience. But it doesn't mean she doesn't care. It doesn't mean that anything that you could ever do on this earth, any mistake that you could make, anything would make her love you any less. And in fact, I know for a fact that every one of you are good-hearted people. You are heart-spaced people. And that means that she is not just loving you and being there for you, but she is so grateful for you. She is so grateful for your presence on this earth. And she knows in her heart space that every moment that you are here on this earth, every time you breathe, every time you interact with people, she knows that you're making a difference. And she knows that you might make someone smile and change their day. She knows that you are helping her children and you are helping your own brothers and sisters of this earth achieve their greatest version. And you're doing so through love. And I have seen that love within each and every one of you. I have seen that love glowing bright and powerful. It's blinding. I want you to feel that light within yourself. Often we take ourselves for granted. We take our magnificence for granted. We focus on the things that we have done wrong instead of the things that we have done right. This is your moment to shine. This is a moment to shine. And you can choose for this moment to become every day. You can choose to acknowledge your magnificence every single day. You can choose to acknowledge how much you're doing for this planet every single day. And that is good enough. And even if you literally just did nothing, you being here is good enough. You breathing is good enough. Because no matter what your experience is, you are good enough. You're good enough because you're a part of the earth. You're a part of her experience. but you're also part of the universe. The entire universe is working with you and through you as well. Feeling your love for the earth and sending it down to her soils for healing in this big, big, big ball of light. Giving her your appreciation for everything that she has done for you, for her birds of air, for her animals of soil, for her water beings and animals, for the oceans and rivers and lakes, for the mountains and the flowers, for the beautiful food that she grows from the belly of her womb for you. Connect to any time that you have touched a plant growing from the earth. Can you feel that life source flowing through this plant? Take in that life source right now. Allow the earth to gift you with that life source. Allow the earth to gift you with her frequency. And from her belly rises a beautiful ball of energy, humongous. And this is represented by Mother Earth's love for you. I want you to allow this beautiful ball of energy to enter your heart space. And take that as a token that Mother Earth is always, always with you. We are calling in all of our guides and angels. We are calling in our spirit guides, our ancestors, for healing, for love, for acknowledgement in this moment, for support, for safety. Feeling the beauty of the sun, of blue skies, the sun as it rises in the morning, peeking past the horizon and sets, leaving a trace of orange tendrils in her sky. Feeling into the magnificence when that sun sets and the sky gets darker and darker and darker, and the stars start peeking out to say hello. We are now connecting in to the full moon that is here today, to the energy of the celestial body of the moon, the energy of the stars, and the entire cosmos at large. All the beings full of love on all dimensional levels. Feel how much they love you, how much they are participating in this experience with you, how they are always there to lend a helping hand, how they have never and will never leave you. Some of these beings are your brothers and sisters from different planets and different experiences that you've had. Some of them are soul family, and some of them have just always been watching over you. Feel into the greatness of your own higher self. Feel into the greatness of any aspect of your soul that is experiencing life, maybe on other planets, maybe on other dimensional levels. Can you trace and feel your spirit that flows from this physical vessel through every single dimensional level and all the way back to source? You are a part of this source energy. You are an extension of this source energy. And the source energy has come through your spirit, through your higher self, to enter into this physical world that we call home. Sending our love to our guides and our angels and to all the beings that are protecting us and loving us always. Calling upon the elements of water, fire, air, soil, spirit, and void. Void, which connects us to the ethereal realms. And now I want you all to feel into and take a moment without my voice guiding you to think of the best things that you love about yourself. I want you to get into a space of self-love for a moment. Think of all the reasons that you love yourself, that you're worthy, that you're amazing in all ways. Feel your power, your energy. Whether it's your ability to acknowledge your emotions, or to just be you in your own specific flavor and essence and power. Whether it's your ability to be kind sometimes, compassionate, now that I have taken you deep, deep down into your heart space, this is where we're going to try the twist of this activation. I want you to take your heart space in, and I first want you to acknowledge you are the boss. You are the one that is connecting me to the ethers. You are the one that is my direct connection to my emotions, my direct connection to my higher self. You know exactly what I need at all times. You are only ever looking out for my best interests, and you're pure unity consciousness. I accept that you are in control, that it is safe to let you be in control. And now I want you to bring the mind in without leaving your heart space. And I want you to acknowledge the mind for a moment, and I want you to say, you know what? You can still be in union with my heart. You still have things to give to me, to my life, to my experience, and I honor you in all ways. My heart is in control, and in that control, I will allow it to work in union with you, so that you may also bring me wisdom, so that you may also tell me things about my life, so that you may also help me experience this beautiful experience. I want you to take a moment to really acknowledge this union between heart and mind, and how even though the heart is in control first, that is how it needs to be. The mind is no less worthy than the heart. I want you to feel into how they both have their importance in their own way. I want you to feel into that connection. Whenever you're ready, I want you to just take a couple of moments to allow yourself to leave this meditation, this activation, at your own pace, at your own rate. And only when you're ready, only when you are ready, you may open your eyes. We're just waiting a moment for the last of everybody to really allow themselves to come back in. Awesome. Okay, cool. So if you want to write in the chat box how your experience was with the activation or any comments that you may have, I felt that it was really important that, in this entire program, we've put so much focus on the heart, the heart, the heart, because in today's world, it's all about the mind, right? It's all about how smart you are, what logic you have going on, what, strategies you're able to go into. And so I wanted to show you that we don't have to make the mind the enemy just because we need the heart to be in control. So the mind and the heart are both important. It's just that the heart needs to be in control first because of its connection to unity consciousness. And because the mind is first and foremost receiving through duality, the left hemisphere, the right hemisphere, the corpus callosum, that means that the mind on its own, it's completely stuck in duality. And that is why we need the heart to be in control. But the mind is so important as well. It allows us to make beautiful dreams and poetry and art and express ourselves and experience the world in all these ways. It is our individuality. It is our ego, and our ego doesn't have to be bad. Our ego is us. Our ego is our individuality. Our ego is our difference. And sure, the ego can experience certain things as mean or scary, but it doesn't mean that our ego is inherently mean or scary. Awesome. So some things that wanted to come through me today. First and foremost, after the union between heart and mind, is just trying to understand this mirror dimension that we're in, and trying to understand the people that are in it and how they may affect us, and how we can really stay true to ourselves without, without tearing ourselves down for not being perfect, right? There's all these core beliefs within spirituality. If you guys have ever heard of J.P. Sears, he pretty much makes fun of all those core beliefs. That you have to have cool yoga pants and be vegan and meditate, and all of these things are amazing, but it doesn't make you more spiritual. It can make you more aware if you're using that as your modality for awareness. But no one has to, conform to the same expression. Nobody has to do things the same way. That is the whole point of individuality. And we are inherently spiritual beings as we are. And so if we want to do things to help ourselves become more aware and more connected to spirit, like meditating, which can help so much, that's awesome and that's beautiful. But let's crush some of these core beliefs in terms of what it means to be a spiritual being and what it means to be a heart space being here today. Because I want you guys to know that you're perfect as you are, and that you're worthy as you are, and that if you don't meet one of these core beliefs, or if you don't conform a certain way, it doesn't mean that you're less connected to your spirit, and it doesn't mean that you're less of a heart space being just because your individuality has taken you down a certain path or road. You know, it is honoring our uniqueness that is a part of being a heart space being, right? We have to honor who we are exactly as we are. Like, you don't have to, obviously, but that's the whole point of getting deep into your heart space, is you get deeper into honoring who you are exactly as you are. So some core beliefs that I really want to crush here today is this idea that being in your heart space means that you're always going to be in alignment with the positive emotions. You're always going to be happy and loving, and you'll have to be this transcendental being that is always, always, always in alignment. That is a lot of pressure for anybody. It's a lot of pressure. Can you feel how much pressure that is to always be in alignment and to always be this transcendental being who doesn't let conflict get to them, who is basically trying to override their own reactions and emotions that naturally occur within their body? It's a lot of pressure. We are human beings, and every single one of us has opted into a certain collective agreement here on Earth. And I'm going to talk about that collective agreement today because it's going to help you take some pressure off. That collective agreement is the very idea that we have opted into polarity. We have literally opted into experiencing the negative emotions. We have literally opted into experiencing conflict. We have literally opted into experiencing what is separate from us. And the point of that, of course, is so that we can always come back to our heart, so that we can always come back to a place of pure love, so that we can always come back to the truth of who we are. But it doesn't mean that there's anything going wrong with us, or that we haven't made it, or that we're not where we know that we are, just because we have moments of negative reactions towards people, or getting mad at people, or or being sad. And a lot of the times, and especially in this heart space program, I know, like, when I've been working with you guys one-on-one a lot, I've really intuitively had this come up where I had to say, hey, look, it's okay that this thing happened in your life. It doesn't mean that you're moving backwards. You can't ever move backwards. You can't. The whole point of this collective agreement is also to always be moving closer towards source. And sometimes people have to experience extreme disalignment, and sometimes people have chosen a path to continue to be more disalignment, more disalignment, more disalignment. But if you are on a path where you're moving towards source, if you're on a path where you are always trying to enter your heart space deeper, you literally cannot go backwards. And here's the thing. Every time you enter a new space of love, every time you enter a new space of your heart, that is the perfect opportunity for the universe to say, hey, look, you still have this shadow here. Hey, look, it's so cool that I have shadows coming right when I'm saying that. So it's literally the universe saying, hey, look, yes, you're in your heart space. Yes, you've got into this place of love and connection within the universe, but you're still human. Here's your shadows. Let's experience your shadows so you understand them better, so you can work with them. And so you can allow these shadows to be healed, to be integrated, to be loved, to be valued. Whenever we push our shadows away, whenever we say, oh, that's not me, oh no, I'm perfect, oh no, I'm transcendental, oh no, I've made it to my heart space, so I can never have a natural human reaction to a situation. Whenever we say that, it's not that we're actually being that. It's that we're literally exiling a part of ourselves into the unknown. We're literally disassociating and isolating a part of who we are. Because we all have shadows. We all have parts of us that hurt. We all have parts of us that have experienced trauma. You know, this whole program, fragmentation that we've been talking about and integrating, no matter how much you integrate, no matter how much you value these parts of yourselves, the collective agreement is that there's always going to be more. There's always going to be a part of yourself that is still in pain, and it gets better. It does get better. And you can come to a place where it's easier to integrate and it's easier to go deeper, and it's easier to get more raw and real with yourself. And it's easier to love these shadows in just a more, full way. And that is what we're really moving towards, is through constant integration. Yes, we do start feeling more into our heart space. We do start feeling love more often. We do start feeling connection more often. But you need to own where you are. You need to own who you are. You need to own your experience here exactly as it is, because that is the first step to entering the heart space. Because the heart space is a complete connection to our higher self. So how can you truly be in the heart space fully if you're in this constant resistance to who you are as a person? If you're in this constant resistance to your faults, if you're in this constant resistance to the parts of you that are not perfect, that are not full and whole already. And we get to choose love over and over again. And we get to choose being in our heart space over and over again. And we get to remind ourselves. And here's the thing. Just because you have a negative emotional reaction doesn't mean that you're not even in your heart space. Your heart space is your connection to your emotions. It is your connection to the universe. And you can still be connected to the universe, your higher self, in alignment with yourself, and acknowledge a negative emotion that arises within you. It's a part of you. It's a part of who you are. You can still be in the heart space. And I'm not saying that you can't get out of the heart space when you're there, or you can't become, a little bit disalignment with your feelings. And it's always just reminding yourself to come back in. It's always just reminding yourself that you're good enough. Because, for example, let's say we have a negative emotional reaction, and we come out of our heart space a little bit, and we get stuck in our mind for a moment. Our reality is playing a trick on us. We're telling ourselves that we're not good enough. It's always about acknowledging, okay, that's fine. I had a moment, I had a shadow come up. Let's validate that. Let's integrate that. And let's get back into a place of love. Because the first step to getting yourself back into the heart space is to accept that you've left for a moment, is to accept that maybe you came out of alignment for a moment. The heart space is our connection to, it's literally the connection. You can think of it as the power source to our human life here on Earth. It is the connection between our human life here on Earth, the Earth itself, our physical self, and also to our ethereal self and the entire universe at large, to our source aspect as well. So how would it make sense that we have to not acknowledge our human self and our shadows to be in the heart space? If it's a part of connecting us to our human selves, how would that make any sense that it makes us less in our heart space to be connected to that aspect, to understand that aspect? It doesn't make you less amazing or connected or aware to be human, to have human emotions and to have shadows. You're good enough just as you are. And the next thing that I want to bring in here is, what meaning are we associating to certain actions that people take? That is something that we can have awareness over. So for example, let's say somebody does something and it hurts you. The first acknowledgement here about meaning is understanding that no matter what they've done to you, no matter how much they've hurt you, your reaction to them literally is dependent on you, not them. And so if we can understand that no matter how horrible someone is towards you, it's your reaction to them that you're really feeling, And if we can remove, like, it's okay if you need to, be present with what someone has done to you, but by acknowledging that you might not even know their intention behind it. So, for example, let's say someone does something to you, and by that action, you associate, oh, they don't love me. And that's the meaning that you've assigned to their action. Let's say you sat down and talked to that person and you literally asked them, hey, you did this. Does this mean you don't love me anymore? They would literally, like, it's all dependent, but probably this person would look you in the eyes and say, no, I have no idea why I was treating you like that, but I don't, this doesn't mean anything about my love for you. And then right there you can understand that, hey, the meaning that I assign to someone's actions is on me. We can understand what they've done and acknowledge what they've done, but we don't necessarily know always where they were coming from, or how they feel about us just based on an action. So it's also acknowledging that other people are imperfect, that other people have their shadows, and that we don't have to own the meaning that we assign to their actions, because usually it's the meaning itself that hurts, and it's not the actions themselves. Because if you can remove the meaning from someone's actions, so for instance, if you can remove the meaning that they don't love me from their actions, and you just get really clear that they hurt you and you're sad about it and it was painful, you're one step closer to acknowledging your emotions, taking responsibility for your emotions, and healing you and taking care of you. Because when we make it about someone else, and when we make it about the meaning of what they've done that we're assigning to things, it's a lot more painful. And it's also a wedge that keeps you away from your own emotional system, right? Like, it's literally a tool of disassociation that we use. So by taking meaning to somebody's actions, we're literally, like, it doesn't mean you're not with your emotions when you're like being in that meaning that you've assigned to them, but it does mean that there is a level of disconnection you're having with your emotions. So you can be aware of your emotions and still have that meaning, but by removing the meaning entirely, you're becoming completely vulnerably present with your own emotions. And it feels so good, because your emotions are a part of you. Your emotions are your inner child. Your emotions are the experiences you've had, the things that you've learned. They are you. They're a part of you. They're a part of your connection to your higher self. They tell you when you're closer to your higher self, when you're closer to the alignment of your higher self, and when you have strayed from that path. And guess what? The human experience is to stray. To stray and always remind ourselves that we are source, that we can't ever not be source, that we can never not be divine just because we're having shadows and experiencing shadows, that this is literally a part of the experience. And the sooner that we start accepting our shadows and acknowledging ourselves in all that we are, the sooner that we start acknowledging ourselves as we are. And when we accept ourselves, and when we take responsibility for our lives just as they are, and when we own ourselves, we're one step closer to becoming more in alignment with our heart space, and to becoming more in alignment with our source aspect, which is what you really want anyways. When you're disassociating from your shadows, that's really what you want anyways. Is it's kind of like you're trying to cheat and be like, no, like, I'm already on the higher planes. It's like a little mind trick that you're playing with yourself to say, oh, I've already made it there. But there's nothing wrong if you haven't fully made it there. Nobody has. And here's the thing I'm going to tell you today. Ascension that we've heard of, like Buddha, like literally leaving his body, that's literally the only way that one person on earth can become transcendental, is to literally leave the human collective altogether. Not one person can become this transcendent and stay in their physical human body and stay on this collective level. Sure, there's Christ consciousness, which is where the heart space really is. But when we're talking complete transcendence, complete no reaction, no shadows, no emotional system, that's not even this dimensional level. That's not even what we've chosen into. Not one person can break that agreement, because right now that's where the human agreement is. And sure, we can ascend as a collective, and we are always doing that. And pretty soon, the collective agreement will be different as we ascend, but not one person can break out of that. And even though we have leaders and we have people that are maybe more connected to Christ consciousness than others, maybe higher up in the dimensional planes, maybe they can access that part of themselves easier. They're here to be with us, to be one with us. And when we start not accepting where we are and looking at them and being like, oh my god, I wish I was there, it's like, it's a disassociation of where you are. And that's really not the point of the human experience, and it takes you farther away from yourself. And if you ever do that, there's nothing wrong with that. So when you are accepting yourself, you're bringing yourself closer back to your shadows. But if you're in your shadows and one of your shadows is to disassociate from who you are, that's okay too. So it's accepting that whatever we're feeling, whatever we're experiencing is always okay. And we can be conscious, and we can try to take actions that are more in alignment with love. So for instance, owning your emotions and owning your shadows without, allowing yourself to act against others in your anger or in your sadness. Sure, we can take conscious action like that. That's awesome. So that is also what the heart space teaches us, is to get deeper into owning our own shadows and our emotions so that we stop having to project outwards on others. But if you are projecting outwards on others, that's okay too. It's all okay. And what we really need when we're talking about our relationship with others is to acknowledge our boundaries, to express ourselves, to speak up when they've hurt us instead of holding it in and just getting angry at them, right? Because when we close ourselves off from what's really going on and we don't let ourselves just be authentic with them and tell them what's going on within ourselves and tell us, you've hurt me because of this, or, okay, so that's the next thing I'm getting to. When you're trying to talk within a conflict, right? You don't, again, it's okay if you don't, but a more in alignment way with getting your point made without starting a really bad argument that I've learned in my own life is to speak from your point of view without projecting onto them. So for example, this thing that you may have done hurt me because, instead of, you hurt me so badly and it's really been horrible for me. It's there's the difference of your words, of how you can stop yourselves from attacking them in telling them that they've hurt you. So really speaking from a place of, I am hurt, I have experienced this, I have acknowledged this within myself. Because when you're speaking from a place of, this has affected me in this way, and you're not speaking from a place of, you have done this to me, they're going to feel less attacked and they are going to listen to you better. Your point is going to be made more clearly. They're going to actually give you what the hell you want instead of feeling attacked and feeling triggered within themselves. Because if you start attacking someone, they're going to get triggered and they're going to get upset, right? So if we can start talking to people and really acknowledging why we're upset without needing to blame them for it. And if you need to blame them for it, that's okay too. Are you getting the theme for this? Everything that you are is okay. And the sooner that we accept that, and the sooner we accept that whether we stray into our shadows or whether we're straying back into the light, it's all okay. Because the more that we're in resistance to where we are and who we are, the farther that we're taking ourselves away from awareness. And the more closed off we become. I wanted to talk briefly about relationships and union within relationships, and then we're going to get into the core belief work. So the next thing that I wanted to come to, and this is something I've talked about before, but for some reason, literally half asleep this morning, my guides were telling me to talk about this. And actually there's a couple of reasons why this is coming up today. So I'm going to give you guys a personal example here, okay, of what I'm talking about. So I want to talk about miscommunication for a second. So, for example, I was working with my own shaman who's been training me for honestly like 2 years now. She's been my healer, my shaman, everything. And we are super, super close. Like, we were talking the first time I met this woman, I was like, oh my God, I used to play with you as a kid in the astral realm. Like, I literally knew her name. I knew meeting her. Like, and she recognized me as well. Like, we're talking like that close soul family. Okay, so we have this huge connection. And the other day, there was like this little bickle between us where it was basically like she thought, our session was happening a certain way. I thought our session was happening a certain way. There was scheduling issues going on. And literally, like, we had 2 seconds of being mad at each other. And we both just, took a step back, dropped our shit, and we're like, oh my God, I love you so much. Like, I'm sorry. Like, let's just work this out. And we did. And so, what that shows you is in that moment of anger, I was thinking of like, okay, like, she's not understanding me, she's not validating me, and that hurt. But what I really want to bring this up for is to see that miscommunication is that simple. We were not on the same page. She was looking at the situation one way, I was looking at the situation another way, and that's why there was an argumentation going on. So if you want to solve any argument with any friend, with any coworker, with anybody, you've got to get on the same page. And to get on the same page, your first step is to understand them and what they're going through. Because you already understand you. You like usually you already understand why you're upset, right? So you so you have to actually reach out to try to understand them, get behind their perspective, try to look at things from their point of view, from their shoes, put yourself in their perspective, put yourself in their shoes. And then once you really understand them, or you really stop to actually listen to them, you can acknowledge how to come together, how to compromise, how to love once more, how to be on the same page. And if this is really going to work, you have to first acknowledge that both parties have to be willing to get on the same page. If you're working with someone to get on the same page and they don't want to be on the same page with you, like they're literally like ignoring you, they don't want connection with you, they're just not wanting to understand you, they're not wanting to work it out. You have to acknowledge that and walk away. Because to actually fix a relationship or a connection, both parties have to actually genuinely want that. And walking away doesn't mean you're giving up on them. They could come back later. They could come back in 10 minutes from now. But there's no point in putting all the effort in when someone else isn't. You have to really acknowledge when they're putting the effort in and when they're not. And most of the time, both people genuinely just want to put in the effort. They might be stuck in their own pain or blinded for a second by, their own story that they're telling themselves. And you might be doing the same. But most of the time in relationships and friendships, we genuinely both just want to be understood and loved and have that connection. And sometimes there's an acknowledgement on both parties' side before that actually happens. So this is also a message that came through today, is to really work with the people in your life to get on the same page and to understand each other, and to understand each other's point of view. So the last little portion of this is whenever we are talking about our coworkers or, whoever it is that you're connected with in whatever way you're connected with them, you always want to acknowledge your own boundaries, your own needs, and again, the reactions and the emotions that you're having with this person, right? So boundaries and needs would be speaking up when they stepped on your toes and speaking up when your needs aren't being met. Because if you don't speak up and tell them, they won't know. And a lot of the time, I know that this is a huge collective shadow for many people, is they're like giving people the silent treatment and just like, oh, you know what you've done wrong, but they're not saying anything to that person. And they're like, no, I really don't know what I've done wrong here. So, really just acknowledge that you have to speak up and you have to tell them what's going on with you. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to get into the core belief work now. Okay, so Yeah. Is Quentin, are you here? Yes. Okay, Quentin is going to be coming on first today because he missed his last one. So we're going to let Quentin come in for some core belief work, and I want you guys to really, obviously participate with Quentin, but you guys can think within yourself, do I want to go next? Do I want to come on? Because when we finish, I might be asking for another participant. So you can really think about, is there something you'd like to work on with me today? Quentin, if you want to unmute yourself, we can work on the core belief work together.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
So I want to really get right into it. What is a situation that you think that there might be a core belief underlying? What is a situation that you really want to do this core belief work for? So just take a moment to think of anything in your life that you find that there might be some underlying things. Or you could start from the basis of where's the core belief itself. So like if you already know what core belief you'd like to work on today, you can just tell me and we can see if there might be something deeper underneath that core belief, or just work with where you are on that.
Okay. I think my core belief at the moment is patience. Patience with everything, okay?
Okay.
That's
All right.
what I feel at the moment. Patience with self, patience with everything. It's just like, whoa. I feel that's one at the moment for me.
All right. So tell me a bit more about what you mean by patience, because that can be like a very broad thing.
Patience with self. I don't know. That just kept coming up. The word patience kept coming up for me. That's all. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
So let's try to get to the bottom of this, because I really feel like there's something deeper there. I feel like patience is like the cover for something that's even deeper underneath, a belief that's even deeper underneath. So let's start with patience, because that's the first thing that you brought up. So can you give me a specific situation in which this really has affected you?
Just patience with self, having time. Just I don't know. I don't know what it is. That's just the word patience. That's all. Just keeps coming up as patience. That's as far as I've got in the mind and the feeling at this stage.
So it's very vague. So I'm gonna try my best to get under it, and that's okay. So why is it so? What? So again, I'm not trying to invalidate you in any way. We're just trying to dig up the deeper meaning, right? So the question that you ask yourself at this point is, why is it so bad that I'm not patient with myself? What is so bad about not being patient with myself?
It's back to not being good enough. I feel.
Oh yeah.
Patient, not being good enough. It's not patient with self. It's patience of the reflection of everybody else as well. It's patience of self and reflection of patience in other people. If that makes sense.
It does. And honestly,
Does
like I love the way that you've gone about this. You're very straightforward. You've gone from patience straight into feeling the unworthiness. And I first want to say that that's amazing that you're able to just get into that, because that's vulnerable, that's deep, that's real. So I honor you for being able to get right in there and being like, okay, well, underneath the patience, there's some feelings of unworthiness.
Yeah.
So I feel like you've literally hit the core bottom already, but I want to try to see if there's any like deeper definition that we can give to this core belief. So what is the meaning that you've associated with feeling unworthy? Is there a meaning that you've associated with it? Is there a story you're telling yourself about why you're unworthy?
Wow. This is when the mind gets involved and it says, what? No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm just lost at this point.
That's okay. So let's start there, because unworthiness is a core belief in itself, right? It's this feeling of I'm not good enough, right? Does it feel like I'm not good enough, or do you feel like if I could literally ask you for a core belief that you know that you have related to unworthiness, what would that sentence be for you? What would the core belief be if you could literally put it in a sentence related to feeling unworthy? And it's okay if you're having trouble with this. You're not
I
expected
have.
to do anything.
There's blocks. It's like lots of blocks
Okay.
at the moment. It feels
So
like the flow's not happening.
let's just go in. Let's go in. Let's just prove this idea that you're not worthy. Let's disprove the fact that that you feel unworthy, okay? And it doesn't matter in whatever way you feel unworthy, because that's obviously just the story you're telling yourself, right? So let's start with all the reasons. Let's build you up slowly, okay? And we need to build you up slowly here. So from a place of unworthiness, we can acknowledge things like, okay, what do you need to say to yourself here? When you hear the words, I am unworthy, what is the first things that you need to say to yourself here to build yourself up? What are some things, and by the way, I just want to say that by coming up and giving this core belief, you're helping every single person here, because I know that, everybody, even myself, struggles with this core belief on, at certain times in their life. So I just wanted to let you know that this work is so phenomenal that you're coming in here to do, and that everybody can benefit from the work that you're doing here today. So what is something that you can say to yourself that is not completely the opposite of unworthy, but is slowly building yourself up to acknowledge that, to acknowledge that you are worthy without completely going all the way there, because we want to build you up slowly. For example, things like, it's okay that I feel unworthy, and it's okay that I may feel that way at times, because I know that that's not the ultimate truth. And getting slowly up the ladder, like, okay, there's been some situations where I felt unworthy, but does that really mean that I'm unworthy? So we start questioning the belief slowly, right?
Yeah.
We start
Yes.
we start deciding that we get to change our mind. So
Yes.
So what are some things that you need to tell yourself to change your mind about being unworthy? And we're gonna go deeper in here. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna see if you're comfortable with having the group members help you out. But I just want to start by seeing how you would want to go about this, because that's honestly the most powerful, is when you're able to look yourself in the face and say, okay, like, these are all the reasons that this story I'm telling myself is not fair to me. Honestly, it's not fair to feel that I'm unworthy. Is that really the ultimate truth?
But straight away, you're worthy. I mean, you feel that, then you look at it and say, yes, I am worthy. So is that the opposite?
So,
is that the way,
so if you're already
there,
what are all the reasons that you are worthy?
Okay. Oh, wow.
How can we back up this idea that you actually are worthy? It can be anything. It can be small things, big things, scenarios, traits that you have.
I feel really blocked this morning.
Do you want me to ask the group members to give their little advice on the things that they've seen within you that are worthy, or like have them contribute to this idea that you're worthy? Because sometimes it really helps when you have other people's perspectives.
Thank you. It sounds nice. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. And my next question is, do you want people to actually unmute themselves and tell you what they feel about why you're worthy, or in the chat box? What feels better to you?
Verbally, because I can't use the chat box. I have not got up to speed to actually do it yet.
So one by one, you guys can unmute yourselves and specifically focus on all the things that you've seen within Quentin that prove to you how worthy he is. And to help prove it to him as well.
Wow. Embarrassment, almost. Hey.
Hi, Quentin. Chris speaking here.
Hi, Chris.
I just wanted to say that I can just sitting here now, I can feel that your courage that you have to just be here with us, sharing your experience with us. I can remember myself in the past, how difficult it was to go there. Just thinking about it now, I can feel all emotional. But yeah, I just wanted to say I can sense your strength and courage just by being here with us and sharing this space. So yeah, lots of love, Robert. Lots of love to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
speaking
Thank
up,
you.
Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Don't be
Wow.
shy, guys. Whenever you feel ready.
Thank you.
And Quentin, you can stop this at any time. So if at any time you feel like, okay, thank you for your love, but you know it's a little too much from you right now, you also get to stop this. Okay, so just know that this is about you. Okay, you're in control of this 100%. All right, I'm just helping to guide you, but you know this is your vulnerability that you've brought up, and you get to decide here. Okay.
Hi, Quentin. You are just perfect as you are, and you are a child of this earth, and you have just gone your unique way, and you come this far, and you're just okay as you are now. And you have a lot of nice comments always to be practical, like with the group, and you are always available somehow. You a lot of present in the group, and I like that from you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for speaking up, Vicky.
Thank you. Blessings.
I just wanted to add in here quickly before the next person speaks up. It's if we could add in maybe why Quentin is worthy to you specifically, I think that would be the most helpful. Like specifically how he has impacted you positively, how like you know the things that
That's
make you
intense.
feel good about yourself by being with him.
You now not talking to me specifically, no? Or
I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to everybody.
Yeah.
Hello, Quentin. Can I say something to you?
Nice. I'm trying to see your face. Which way?
I don't have a face today. You want to see my face?
Yeah.
I'm very tired
okay.
because I'm working so much. But I will put on the camera. Now you see me.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Yes, hello.
I just want to say, I don't know you personally, but every time I see you write to people, from the first time I saw you until now, I have noticed that you always wish everybody the good and the best. And that's a good thing.
Thank you. I feel the same. I feel that. Thank you.
Yes, and beneath all the emotions, anger, sadness, frustration, I feel also that you are so much love. That's why I love you.
Thank you. Blessings.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So is this positively impacting you, Quentin? Do you feel like it's okay to continue? Where are you right now?
Emotional.
Oh yeah.
Magic. I don't know. Magic.
Well, can I have a moment to say why you're worthy to me? Cool.
Of course.
So from the moment that we've communicated, that we've talked, as Pio was saying, I do feel that, you're always quick to make sure that everybody knows that, that you're sending them love, no matter, what experience you're having. I feel like you have always just been so kind and genuine with showing people that, hey, love is at my core. I love you. I appreciate you. I have genuinely really felt that. I felt your humor, your happiness, and I just love your passion to be a part of this program, and your passion to, to be there to speak, when we're having the group chats, the meetings, to just be you. Just your essence is beautiful, and I do appreciate it in all that you are, in everything that you are. I do appreciate you, and I appreciate just your contribution to those groups' energy, and I really have noticed it, and I really do appreciate it. So I wanted to say that.
Thank you. Blessings. Thank you. Well, thank you, all of you. Yeah, wow.
So I wanna take this back into working on the core belief itself, if that's okay with you, Quentin.
Of course. Yeah.
Cool. So where do you feel now with this core belief? Let's start there. Has it shifted at all? Has it raised a bit? Has it opened up? Or do we need to continue working, on where you have taken us with this unworthiness?
More, I feel more relaxed with the energy.
Awesome.
That's about all I feel at the moment.
Okay.
It's okay.
Cool. So I want you to try to speak up a bit again if you can. I'm not trying to force
Yep.
you. I know that it's very early on your end, but is there anything that you want to speak up and say, hey, look, this is what's awesome about me. Hey, this is what I appreciate about myself, my life. Any blessings that you have in your life can help you, focus on how worthy you are. Anything that is you can help you focus on that. So I think that, it would be really good for you to get some presence while you speak up about the reasons that you're worthy. I feel like that can be really powerful as well, to say, I'm worthy because of this. And to not just be saying it to yourself in the mirror, but to be saying it to all these group members who have clearly, they're here to support you as well.
Wow, that's very intense. I'm worthy. I'm patient. I don't know. Wow, that's overwhelming.
That's
Talking to the
okay.
mirror is easy.
Right?
Oh wow, this is not the mirror.
We're all unique mirrors that are here supporting you right now. But it's okay.
Unique
It's
mirrors.
okay. This is only at your own pace. This core belief work is all at your own pace. So if you feel like, okay, like this is too much right now, this is too intense right now, we can always take a different road or stop whenever you feel like it. This is all about where you're feeling, okay?
Yeah, wow. I don't know. I'm sort of.
So maybe I'll talk a bit about some things that I like to tell myself and the people that I work with when we're talking about worthiness. Maybe that'll bridge the gap so that you can really feel into that a bit more.
Thank you.
So I want you to just take this moment to feel that your uniqueness, that everything you are, your essence, your flavor, your spice, the things that you like, the things that you don't like, the things that you're happy about, the things that you're not happy about, they're all you, and they're all a part of this earth. And just really acknowledging that you're a gift to this earth, to this universe, exactly as you are, and that your uniqueness, the things that make you different, whether they're the shadow sides of you, whether they're the light sides of you, they're all worthy. And I know that you're a heart space being, and I know that you don't have to, but I know that you do try to make people feel good and to show them that you love them. And I see this genuine desire within you for connection and love, and all of that is worthy, and you are worthy exactly as you are without having to do anything or be anything. When I'm acknowledging, when people start acknowledging the things about them that make them worthy, like, oh, I can do this or I am this, it's all just the story and makeup that we're telling ourselves to try to make us get on the vibration of worthiness. But really, the vibration of worthiness is this: you don't have to do anything or be anything to be worthy. You are worthy because you are here. You are worthy because you are you. Because if we didn't have Quentin exactly as he was, we wouldn't have Quentin, and that would be horrible. That would be horrible if we never got to experience Quentin. And so for me, that's what I really like to look at with worthiness, is that just by being who you are worthy. Just by being here, you are worthy in all that you are, in everything that you are.
Thank you, Magic. Wow. Okay. I'm just
I feel like that you might want to break here or just take some time to reflect on this, but if you would like to continue, we can.
I think that's it for now. I don't know.
Okay.
This patience with self, patience with everything. It's been like that the whole year. When I started the program, I had issues with car and other stuff, which is mechanical things, which I don't usually worry about. And it was a 3-day repair period, and suddenly 6 weeks later, it was fixed. And that was the beginning of my year of patience. That was the beginning of this year. And everything this year has been patience and patience and patience. And it's like learning to have patience with self. That's where I'm at the moment, and just breathing with self. I think that's where I'm at. But all these things have been the same. And it's like with doing these beliefs and everything that's happening, and it's like anticipation. It's like, it doesn't happen. It's like, I am worthy, and feel I'm getting through this patience. But it's been a whole since Christmas with everything. So this is like another level of understanding, maybe, of that
Well,
it is okay.
I honor that this patience has really been bugging you and really eating at you in all these different ways, and I honor that that has sucked. And I admire the fact that you acknowledge the patience within yourself, and that you acknowledge the aspects of yourself that are experiencing this. I really acknowledge and honor that that you've been able to relate all these outside experiences that have sucked and have been not good for you, or you haven't been enjoying them, all these different things. I so honor that you're able to look back and say, hey, this is affecting me because, and that is honorable, that is authentic as hell. That inspires me, and that's beautiful. So thank you for that.
Thank you everybody.
So I'll invite someone else to come on, and we'll have a little bit of a group chat at the end so that everybody can have more time to speak. If everybody who unmuted themselves during speaking to Quentin can please remute themselves, just so there's no sound interference for the next person who comes on. Marina, you wanted to go. Do you want to go now?
Okay, sure, I'll go.
Awesome. So, yeah,
Oh,
sorry. Okay. So, is core belief work still good for you? Do you want to get into that? I know that we worked on a belief of yours in one of the last meetings we had, so we can get back into a different one or the same one if it feels in alignment with you. Where are you at right now?
Okay, I didn't have anything planned or anything.
Nothing needs to be planned, I'm telling you. And you know what? It's literally my talent to get into the deep, like darkness of everybody. Like, just like when I work with a client in the first 5 minutes, I'm like, tell me everything that is going wrong with your life, because we're going to help you feel better about it. Just really allowing them to speak up and to be authentic with the things that are going on with their life is really my thing. So anything that is a core belief in your life, any block that you've been experiencing, anything that you're like, yes, this is what I want to work on. I'm here, I'm open to listen to whatever you have to talk about, whatever you have to be open about right now.
Okay. I mean, I think I'm always working on worthiness, and same thing as like patience. When Quentin is, I resonated with Quentin a lot, and and just really trying to enjoy just the coming together of things, and still feeling into my intentions, and yeah, trusting that things happen on their own time, and to fall in love with patience and to not have it be this enemy. And
Yes.
So I've been working with that, and also my worthiness, definitely, like just checking myself throughout the day, and like recognizing when there's times that I'm doubtful, or I feel like I'm not doing enough, or I'm not like successful enough or something, and then I have to be like, okay, I remember that this is just part of the process, and even successful people who in other people's eyes, you know, feel this way too. So it's all relative.
Hell yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that there's those two things are probably my main things I've been like trying to work on. But there probably is other deeper stuff that I haven't worked on that I
So
don't
once
know.
we start working, we're gonna get to dig that up, right? So, so either in the category of patience or in the category of worthiness, what are some like physical situations in your life, if you feel called to share, that maybe relate to that, so that we can get deeper into it? And if you feel like that's not how you want to go about it, we can work deeper into the core beliefs themselves. But if you can give us a real situation, it's easier for me to get deeper at the core of things.
Okay. Like something that has happened that has bothered me or something?
Yeah, anything.
Okay, so I guess this is, I don't know how much this really matters to me, but I'm sure there's something behind it.
Yeah.
So like my dad, I haven't talked to my dad in a bit, and I was supposed to call him back, and I ended up calling him back when I locked my keys out of my car because I wanted to see if I can call him to use AAA to maybe get into my car again. And so I called him thinking that it was kind of actually sweet to call him when I'm in a time of distress, that I can call my dad during that time
Yes.
to help. But he did not take it that way. He took like, well, you know, you didn't call to like say how you are and you know how he is and all this stuff. And but I called him to tell him I was in distress about my keys being not getting in my car. And I just so it just was taken totally differently, and I understand that now. And it did trigger me at first, but then I realized like, no, he's just hurt, and that I haven't communicated with him, just probably how I'm hurt, how he didn't communicate with me. But at the core level of it, it was just kind of like, well, how much am I really putting into this relationship that I feel like that I've kind of like surrendered to, but I also feel like it is important because I know you have to heal through your own parental figures to heal all the relationships in your life, right?
Oh, yeah. And you know, I totally honor the feelings here, and I feel like this is something that really needed to rise to the surface today. So let's get into it. What really bothered you here? Like, what was the emotional trigger for you? Was it him not acknowledging that you should be able to call your dad when you're in distress? I feel like that was really the trigger there for you, is that you wanted to be able to rely on him and you wanted to be able to just have him be there for you, and he was blocked on his end. So he can acknowledge that that's acceptable and that that's good enough as it is. I feel like that was really but tell me, from your perspective, what was really the trigger there for you? What really bothered you about this?
Yeah, like I felt it bothered me that he couldn't receive at least the fact that I could call him in the time that I was and read and understand how I was at that time. Me calling him and telling him the situation was me expressing how I was in the moment.
Exactly.
And that was enough. And I maybe and maybe I pushed it to that point to just say, this is my level of intimacy right now. And for him, maybe it wasn't received or understood. Yeah.
So first I want to acknowledge that that's painful. It's painful, and there's definitely some emotions there. And I feel like that really needs to be acknowledged in this situation before we go into the core belief, is to just acknowledge that that hurts, and you know, to not have people see us, and to have people kind of, you know, just be blocked in terms of our connection to them, right? That's what it really feels like there, is that he had these expectations of how and when you should contact him rather than just honoring you as you were when you did want to reach out to him and when you really did need him. And that's a part of connection, is honoring when someone's upset and honoring when, you know, they're in a hurt place. You know, you can't just take someone for the happy times and the, oh, hey, how are you today, Dad? Like, my life is perfect right now. What's going on with you? You know, that's real connection, is to really honor, like, hey, you're in distress. Thank you for calling. I'm going to get AAA over there. I'm going to help you out. We can talk whenever, but you're reaching out to me, and I understand how much it hurts that he sort of shut you down. And obviously, you know, he doesn't, obviously I can intuitively feel that he doesn't mean to like hurt you and do that. It's just his level of blocks, his level of understanding, right? But it does really hurt on your end, obviously, right?
Yeah, and then he didn't really understand also the way he was reacting was also making me feel ashamed of being a bad daughter or being a bad person by not putting my effort in the way he wants.
Oh yeah, and you know, so many people use shame as a weapon, and it sucks. It sucks. Okay, so let's try to get into what the meanings or what the core beliefs could be in this situation for you. Is that okay for you?
I guess I just also wanted to mention that this is kind of, I guess, something that has come up for me recently a lot, that me depending on somebody else or reaching out to somebody for help or something, and then figuring out that, like, actually I can do this better, or that I need to learn how to, like, be more self-reliant and take care of my own stuff before reaching out to somebody else for help sometimes. So this has been kind of like a little bit of a pattern that I'm seeing lately.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing, is you can really honor the fact that you're capable of doing whatever it is you need to do. But you can also honor that the universe is all around us, and it's okay to ask for help. And it's okay to intuitively feel into, okay, I think that this person has an ability to help me in this situation. I'm going to ask them if they would like to. So it's honoring, like, for me, when you say that, it really comes up to the boundary of, you know, first honoring yourself, honoring the fact that you are capable of doing these things, which is basically what you've just said there. And then it's also saying, okay, so I can honor myself in the fact that I'm capable of doing things, and then it's also okay to ask for help. It's also okay to reach out to these people. So it's kind of breaking away from needing to depend on them, feeling like they're your only hope, and acknowledging that you're choosing to ask for their help, and that that's okay. That you could do it on your own, but choosing to ask for help is okay too, because they're just a mirror of you, right? So literally by asking for help, it's you taking action in the situation.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it, because I always feel like like, damn, I can't do everything on my own. I have to ask for help now. Like, shit.
Like, what I feel, the, like, core, like, vibration there is like dependency, codependency, where it's like, that's what I feel like you're really trying to break away from, is acknowledging that you don't need to be completely dependent on them. But it's also important that even though you're acknowledging that, and you're acknowledging that you don't actually need them, it's coming into your own power, and it's saying, okay, yeah, you know, it's good and it's okay that I ask for help at times, as long as I'm always acknowledging that I have the power within me. Because when we feel like, oh, if that person doesn't help me, I'm going to be, like, screwed in this situation, that's codependency. And the problem with codependency is it makes you so dependent on them that you feel like you're not capable to handle things on your own. So when they do turn you down or they do walk away, it's even more, like, distressful. I feel like codependency is the core belief here. Do you want to go into codependency a little bit? Or we can come back to this situation with your dad. What do you feel?
Yeah, let's try that.
Okay. So this situation where first, is there another situation in which you want to share where you feel that you have codependency? Do you want, like, which situation do you want to bring in for this? Because I really like to work with situations to get to the core stuff, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I guess yeah, I've had like situations where I feel codependent on someone, uh I guess physically for like helping me with things. Like I'm just learning how to like build stuff and use tools, but I feel like I've had to depend on a friend for a lot of these things, and it's kind of like gotten me into situations where I'm like, and then he's flaked on me, so I've been like disappointed and distressed and like what you said, and then I'm like, shit, I'm putting myself in these situations where I'm depending on somebody else to move forward.
You literally just gave me core belief gold. Sorry. I just wanted to say that. You really gone deep down into just being vulnerable and getting into the stuff with us, and I completely honor that, and that's amazing. So I'm happy to work with you to get behind this, because this is literally a perfect example. So in terms of this friend that was supposed to help you out and then he disappears, first of all, what is the first meaning, or what is the first why this is bad that comes up for you in that situation? So like, what really, really, truly bothers you about the fact that he didn't show up?
That I believed in it, and that I put that I felt like I couldn't really do much in that area, that I couldn't do it. It irked me that I couldn't do it myself, and that I had to wait for somebody else to do it for me.
Yes. Okay. So what is the meaning that you have, and why is it really so bad that you wanted to rely on someone else? What is really so bad about not having done it yourself, about like what you just said there? What is really the meaning? What really bothers you? If you can go deeper into what you've just said, what really truly bothers you if you go one step deeper? What really irks you about that?
That they're gonna not be there for me, and then it's true. I guess.
So I honor that that's scary and that hurts. So let's get even deeper into this. What is so bad about them not being there for you? What is the meaning that you associate with them not being there for you?
That I can't really do it myself, that I need them, that I need other people. And that's kind of a scary thing, because people aren't always trustworthy, and it's not that either. It's sometimes that they can't help it either. Like I could,
Okay.
But it does still make me feel like I need people, which is like, I feel like that's a lot to ask for anyone.
So what is really so bad about needing people? What is the meaning that you associate that makes needing people bad?
Because people can't really be there 100% for you all the time. And so it makes sense to feel like you need yourself more than you need other people.
So I'm gonna see if this goes deeper, but we're already getting at really the core stuff. So why does it truly hurt you? Why does it truly upset you that people can't be there for you all the time? What is the meaning you really associate with why it's bad that people can't be there for you all the time? And I know that you're already taking it a step further and saying, oh, well, you can need yourself, but we're trying to just stay present with the actual core belief here, that doesn't feel that way, because this dependency obviously doesn't feel, the part of you that feels codependent, the part of you that feels dependent on others, obviously there is this part of you that doesn't feel independent, right? Or otherwise you wouldn't need to rely on them in the first place, right? So we're acknowledging that you do feel that way, but I want to get really at the core juicy the core juicy bottom line here. So what is really the meaning behind people can't be there for you all the time? What really hurts about that? Could be something like, I feel left alone, just giving you an example.
Yeah, that I would be left alone, basically. Yeah.
Okay. So I really feel like that is the core belief, but you can tell me if we can go deeper, is basically that, you know, if people aren't there for me, then I'm going to be left alone. I feel like this is the core wound belief there. Do you feel like it goes deeper, or do you feel like we've hit on something? What do you feel? Or would you like to word it differently as well from that bottom line that we've gotten into?
Yeah, and I think it's like when someone doesn't acknowledge that they have left me alone and in what state, and then I feel abandoned and left alone. Like okay, like sometimes I think people really feel like I am super strong and that I can handle a lot, but then they don't really see that caring for me is actually really part of the process of letting go, I guess.
So I really feel like we've hit like the core bottom here. And again, I really just want to honor how authentic and raw you've been for this, because it really makes my job easier when you can just open up and say, look, this is how it is, and just be open and out there. So I really, really honor that you've been able to do that with us. So I feel like the core belief at the bottom line here is really related to abandonment, and basically like, when people leave me, when people can't be there for me, they're abandoning, or they're choosing to abandon me. What feels better for you there? That they're abandoning me, or more that they're choosing to abandon me? Because I feel like that might be it.
Yeah, I think both, depending on the situation. I think I feel like they've chosen to abandon me, or they just abandoned me.
So let's work with it. Let's go into it. What do you have to say to yourself to help now that we've identified the core belief? What do you need to say to yourself, to this aspect of Marina, to just validate how she's feeling, but also help her, you know, see outside the situation a little more, help her rise above it a little bit more? And there's obviously some emotional abandonment that you're feeling. So right now we're not really doing emotional integration. So I just want to say that it would probably be beneficial for yourself to also, after we work on the core belief, you know, in your own time or whenever, to really be there for yourself in this feeling of abandonment, because I feel like this is really a part of it as well, is the emotional feeling of abandonment. But let's just work with the core belief to start with.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea I had feelings of this abandonment issue, but I think it is definitely emotional and maybe some physical abandonment. But I don't think I was like left as a child, you know, but it doesn't have to be that way, right?
So what can we say to you that in this core belief, how can we slowly start to disprove it? What can we say to rise above this idea that that people have chosen to abandon you, or that they've abandoned you? And it's not that we're trying to pretend that that hasn't happened in different ways, but we're just rising above this idea that, you know, if people leave you, they're choosing to abandon you, or that they've abandoned you. We're trying to see things you know, in a different way, in a different light, so that it doesn't have to hurt you as much, right? Mm. Do you want me to start here, or do you feel like there's something that you need to say in terms of this? I want to know what feels better for you, if I start in, or if you start in.
Well, I mean, I guess I could say on a positive fact that, you know, these abandonment experiences occurred so I can feel more self-reliant on my own. To
recognize your own independence, right?
Yeah, to recognize my own like strength and like what I'm capable of in myself without anyone else, if I can, you know.
And obviously the abandonment hurts. It hurts, and that's, you know, do you feel like you need to acknowledge the feeling of abandonment for a moment? Because I feel like it's really strong in this situation. If you feel like it, if you want to move on, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I feel like the abandonment of emotional needs has been, it wasn't there for me. I felt like, I guess, yeah, it has been, it's I guess it is kind of a trigger when someone isn't, when someone just drops the ball, I guess.
So I want you to just close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to feel into your body, into this abandonment. Because before we go any further, I feel like it really needs to be emotionally acknowledged. If you feel into this abandonment, and you can use your friend not showing up to help fix things, or your dad sort of shutting you down when you asked him for help, you can use these things to really to trigger the feeling. When you go back to one of those situations, where do you feel the abandonment in your body? Is it in your heart space? Where is the physical emotion?
It's almost like in my throat. It's weird because, like, as soon as, like, I feel the abandonment, it's like my thing is to, like, I picture myself, like, grabbing myself and holding myself.
Yes. Okay, that's good. That's really good. You're already taking care of your needs in terms of this abandonment. You're already giving yourself love in terms of abandonment. So I just want to validate this feeling and say that, you know, so many people have felt that way in different times in their life. I've felt that way in my life. And I honor that this is a feeling within you, that you feel this way. And I'm so sorry that people have abandoned you or made you feel abandoned or have chosen to leave you hanging, because that really, really hurts. And I acknowledge that it's super painful and that it really does hurt. What can you say to this feeling of abandonment, to be present with it, to be there for it?
That I'm never really alone, and that I do have a lot of support, and maybe I just didn't know the kind of support that I did have.
Yes. Can you physically feel the abandonment in your body? Like sometimes people might feel like a pulsating or a block or like cement, or do you know what I mean? Like what is the physical sensation in your body related to this abandonment?
Kind of like a curling in, like contracting.
Yes.
Very free feeling.
Yeah. What else needs to be said to acknowledge this abandonment? What else can we say to be there for you in this?
That the people that do want to hear me will hear me and be there for me, and
Hell yes.
and show up how they need to show up, and it's not my responsibility, their action, and it doesn't disprove my worthiness.
Absolutely. Allowing yourself to be present with this feeling of curling in your body. Just saying, I'm here for you. I understand you. Anybody would feel that way with this experiences that you've been through. It's natural to feel this way. Is understandable. I'm here for you. I'm here for this part of myself that feels abandoned. If there's anything like you need to say, like, you know, telling this part of yourself that feels abandoned, I love you. I'm here for you always. You know, even if other people leave you, I promise to acknowledge you more often and to be there for you more often.
Yeah, I feel like that voice is getting louder slowly.
Yes. Awesome. Let's continue that. what else can we say to this abandonment to really truly be there for it, to really truly let this abandonment know that you are not alone?
And that any abandonment that I feel is also due to the abandonment that that other person has had in their life, and that he was just a ripple effect, and I don't want to do that to anybody else. I want to make sure that I don't abandon anyone else and their feelings and emotions and what they need.
Yeah, and I feel like we need to acknowledge here that, hey, it hurt that he would tell you he was going to help you out and then he didn't. It sucked, you know. It bothered you. It was hurtful. It made you feel alone in that moment. You know, acknowledging that is so important, because when we're doing emotional integration, it's literally not about understanding where the other person is coming from. Because in the moment of understanding where they're coming from when we're doing the emotional integration, it is literally a block between us being there for our own emotion.
Okay.
How can you be there for this feeling of abandonment that is within Marina? This is a part of you. Is there anything about how these people have hurt you or affected you that made you feel this way that you need to acknowledge? Like, I'm sorry that he left you. I'm sorry that he promised he would be there for you, and then he didn't show up. He didn't see how important it was to you. He didn't acknowledge how you would be affected by his actions.
Yeah, I guess it does present a little bit of mistrust and like a little bit of like definite just always kind of thinking in the back of my mind that, okay, I should always have a plan B. and just to know that even if someone says something or believes something, or two people experience something, that it's that it doesn't guarantee anything from happening, certainly in the future.
Oh yeah, and that's scary, right? It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking and like just it's wishy-washy.
So how do you feel like we need to continue here? Do you feel like you need to continue talking to the emotion, or do you feel like we need to revisit the core belief? What feels best to you here?
Maybe revisit the core belief.
Yeah, I also was feeling that a little bit. I just wanted to make sure you were feeling the same. So let's go back to the core belief here. Now, if you could sum it up from your point of view, from your experiences, everything that we have recognized about how you feel when people leave you hanging, what would the core belief be in one sentence? Like I know it's really hard to do that, but just to sum it up so we can work with it a little bit, what feels right for you to acknowledge here?
I might have gained this core belief that people, I don't want to say this because I don't really know if it is true, but I might have the core belief that people are not dependable. But
I feel like if you're bringing that up, I feel like it's true on some level. See, this is the thing about core beliefs, is even if we know it's not true on a million conscious levels, if we even think that we have a core belief, it's there on some level. It's there on some, deep, deep subconscious level. And the reason that you're saying, like, I don't even know if I want to say that or if it's true, is because maybe it's really deep. Maybe it's really buried. Maybe it's not something that is even that strong within you, but it's there, right? So it's hard to really, find proof of that within yourself when it is buried so deep.
mm-hmm.
So I feel like you wouldn't have said that if we didn't need to work on it. Do you feel comfortable with going into this idea of feeling like people aren't dependable?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So how can we disprove the idea that people aren't dependable? I want,
all the, I could think of all the ways that people have helped, you know, been dependable in my life. Obviously,
let's talk about that for a second. So what are some ways that people have proven to you that they can be dependable and that they can be there for you and that they can show up?
I love it when people make plans or do things, and then if they can't, they say they can't, or they are just acknowledge whatever's going on with them and just be real about it. I like the fact that my mom is a really big support in my life, and that she in her own way has definitely always tried to be there for me and dependable. I like the fact that, yeah, even strangers can be really sweet and open. And a lot of friends that I've met strangers have become friends and been more dependable than other people that I thought were my friends. I mean, that this world, that the people can be dependable and they can say their truth and give, at least give like an acknowledgement, and not totally abandon someone, but at least tell them, you know, what happened, and acknowledge their,
or make it up to them in some way, you know. I tell them, like, I'm sorry that, like, I said I would do this thing and I haven't, you know. I honor that I may have left you here. How can I make it up to you? How can I meet your needs, you know? That's an example of someone really, really honoring, like, okay, I've messed up here. How can I be there for you instead, right?
yeah.
What are some more things, examples? How can you really disprove this idea that people aren't dependable? What are some more things that you can say about that?
That maybe even I haven't been totally dependable for some people, and so that I have to recognize that as a truth.
Oh.
That other people's not being dependable has nothing to do with me a lot of times, and that it gives way for me to be more independent, I guess. It just, yeah.
To acknowledge your power, to acknowledge, you know, even if you have those moments of abandonment or feeling left, you can always come back to, like, okay, so they left me here, they left me, but it doesn't mean I can't bring someone else in. It doesn't mean that I can't find the power within myself, you know. Just because, you know, what I feel like needs to be said here is, just because one person in the universe wasn't dependable in that moment, doesn't mean that another aspect of the universe, be it yourself or someone else, can't come in to be dependable for you, right? You know, it just because one person you know, illustrates being independable, and it doesn't even mean that that same person can't be dependable for you in the future, you know. It's really acknowledging that this action of them not being dependable in this moment. Obviously, you can feel into your heart space, you know, who is a dependable person and who isn't a dependable person for you overall, right? But it's just also acknowledging that just because this one person wasn't dependable in this moment doesn't mean that the universe can't be dependable for you in other ways, that they can't make it up to you, that they can't bring in the solution for you through somebody else or through yourself.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where I am trying to get more support from, and like really dive into that stream of frequency, because yeah, sometimes when things aren't, like, you know, happening or whatever, or I'm relying on somebody else or something, and I feel stuck, and I just and I know it, like, is, you know, it's just my perspective, but I know this can't really be stuck. Nothing really is ever stuck.
Oh.
So I think I just have to really change my perspective on the fact that the universe can provide always, and that I just have to keep looking for what to depend on and what not to, and know that it's okay if those things don't show up.
So from everything that we've talked about here today with you, from people not being dependable and all these things, what is a mantra that you can bring in to flip it? And it has to be something that you truly believe, and then we're going to work on proving this mantra to you. So what is an idea that you can truly believe that is opening up to these things that we've talked about in a new light, that is just a more open way of seeing these experiences that you've been through and this feeling that you've had?
Okay. That I can depend on myself and ask others for support with no strings attached.
Yes.
Something like.
So let's prove that. Let's prove that. What are all the ways that you can depend on yourself, or that you have been dependent, that you have proved to yourself that you can be dependable for yourself, and that you can also ask for help from other people when you need to, and ask for support when you need to?
Yeah. Well, that I honor my word, and I definitely try to show up for people and show up on time, and definitely I make my list, and I'm like proud of myself for what I can accomplish for myself, by myself, in a day. And I'm dependable in my own passions that I want to create, and I'm making steps doing that every day. And I'm seeing progress, which is good. And yeah, and I just try to make it ho'oponopono with everybody. If anything does not feel right, then I just try to make it right.
So what are some examples that you can give to back this up for yourself?
I guess I was involved with a guy who definitely both of our needs were quite different, but that's okay. And I reached out to him and tried to make it, give him an opportunity to get some closure and to feel like we both like had a meaningful experience, a meaningful connection, but that we also learned that we wouldn't serve each other if we continued to hang out together. So I really tried to be an open door and just tried to give that opportunity and time and space for this person to feel okay with this experience, with our connection. And I felt that, and it wasn't returned, but I felt like that was really good of me, just to at least like not walk away from it, or not just think it it was nothing, but just to really give it the space that if it needed to be there, then it could be.
Absolutely. I feel like we have pretty much rounded off, worked through this pretty well. Do you feel complete here? Is there anything else that you really need to add or ask for in terms of what we've been working through here today?
No, I guess that was a lot. Thank you. It was a lot to integrate and to process and to realize, I guess, what's going on in my life right now. So thank you. And I also wanted to say to Quentin how thankful I am for his presence, for being in the group, and how much I really do appreciate you being here and speaking your truth and being vulnerable, and also like to me, you've helped me be inspired to stay with this group. So thank you. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Ashen, so much for walking me through all of that.
Welcome, sweetie, and thank you for working with me, because you know it also takes a connection with, you know, practitioner, whoever, to actually be able to go that deep, right? So thank you for working with me and honoring me in that way as well. I honor that, and I'm happy for that, and I honor that connection that we shared just now and that we share in general.
Thank you.
Thank you
Aw.
so much. So I'll just take it back to talking to the group for a moment. So I wanted to just say that for now, this has really been the content of the group for today. But as I said at the beginning of the video, as the program is ending, as we're closing things off in the program, I want to give us a chance to really open up about where we are in life at this time, what's going on with us at this time. So I know that it's getting late for a lot of you, but basically I'm going to say is I'm going to take a 10-minute break here because I just need to recalibrate before we actually start talking and stuff. Literally just 10 minutes max. I'll let you guys know in the chat box, and anybody that does have the time to rejoin us and just to have a quick group chat, communicate, get open, I'll try to get back here as quick as possible. So whoever has the time to rejoin the group chat, we're gonna do that, and I'm just gonna say a quick goodbye for right now. If anybody who has to leave or can't come back for the group chat, if you want to, you know, unmute yourself, say goodbye quickly, and then we'll take a quick pause. So for anybody who wants to unmute, say something, say goodbye, or whatever, before we take our pause.
Love you all. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I know we're all going through some hard, crazy stuff right now, but I feel like we're going through a lot. We're doing it. We're doing the work. And it's going to take some time and some support, and but we are doing it. I really feel like we're all super magical and have a lot of gusta right behind us, a lot of power, and like a lot of mana. So thank you. I love you. And see you soon. I'll be back for the group chat if I can. Yeah.
Awesome.
I will be.
Oh, Ruby coming in to all thank you hearts.
Thank you, everybody. It's been really, really nice this morning. Appreciate that. And I'll be back for a group chat because it's only early morning. So see you everybody soon. Thank you, Ashen. Thank you, everybody. Lots of love.
Lots of love. Thank you, Quentin and Marina. Okay. Is there anyone else that wants to unmute, say goodbye? I'm not really calling on anyone right now, so just anybody who feels called to say something, please do.
Yeah, goodbye to everyone. No, wait, is that? Goodbye to everyone who will not be joining again, and I'll be there in a few minutes. And thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Yeah, you all feel so close tonight, and I'm still so happy that our group is here, and thank you all for your contribution. And it was also so much from could recognize what was said, and also I tried to come back in a moment, and I say goodbye to everybody who's leaving. And thank you so much, Ashen, for your piercing through and guiding and everything. It was good.
Thank you, sweetie. Thank you, Agaya, for your presence and your connection.
Mm. Mm. Thank you.
Great. Is there anybody else who wants to unmute and say something just before we break off? Or okay, I feel
I'll
like
just
yeah.
just want to quickly say thank you as all. Yeah, I just wanted to say I can definitely feel all the love of and the closeness of the group, and just thankful and grateful to everybody, and yeah, fashion and hey, and with them, and yeah, everybody.
I think you're
I
cutting out a
really
bit
felt
here, Chris,
love.
but
Big
thank
time. See you
you.
in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So thanks
Awesome.
everybody. Thank you.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna sign off. If anybody wants to say a last goodbye, please do, and I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Okay.
Hello. Christopher.
Hello. Hey,
Hello.
doing you all right,
Wow, we're all here together.
buddy?
What's the time
So
over there?
what time is it now? When
I was about to
that's
ask
good
you,
in line.
I was about to ask you
Yeah,
the same thing.
here
It's,
it's 11:15. 11:15. So yeah, not too
wow,
bad.
it's 5:45 a.m. over here.
But, wow.
5:45, yeah. So it's a 3 o'clock early morning.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But, you know,
I bet
I went
it's lovely
outside.
getting up. Is it
I
good
just went
getting
outside.
up at that time?
I just went outside and had a cigarette, enjoyed the beautiful cigarette as I should, and looked at the stars. I thought, 20 minutes time, the sun's coming up, and you guys are going to sleep. So it's a complete reverse cycle, eh? Amazing.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
was your
it's awesome.
ceremony? I've been waiting to ask. How was your ceremony?
Oh, it was magic. Yeah, it was really, really mind blowing and heart blowing. It was like
Beautiful.
really beautiful. The first, because I did the 3 ceremonies. So the first night was like a light introduction, but still challenging. But I was just blown away by the love and the light. It was like really
Beautiful.
intense. Like I could feel God. I could feel the presence of Mother Earth and everything.
Awesome.
So much going on. So I loved it. Yeah. And then yeah, second night was really a lot more intense, a lot more sort of frightening, and really sort of took me out of my comfort zone. But still came good in the end. And I learned a lot from that as well. And then the third night, I only had half a cup. The third night.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
And
How much volume did you drink? That's what I was about to ask you the exact same question. What sort of volume did you drink from liquid?
Yeah,
half
so
a cup
the first night, half a cup, and then another half a cup on the first night, and then a full cup on the second night, and then just half on the third night. And the third night was beautiful, because I was a bit more with it. There wasn't quite so much going on, so I could like really enjoy the singing from the shaman. There was an amazing shaman called Huberto, and it was it was just
awesome.
Yeah, really beautiful.
I didn't realize in Amsterdam these experiences were available. I didn't realize that. Everywhere in the world it's happening, but I didn't know that it was in Amsterdam. So I was talking to our Dutch girlfriends, which we're staying with in June, and they were saying there's everything available there, and I didn't realize it was available there. So we do ceremonies. Well, I don't, but a lot of people do ceremonies here, similar ceremonies, which is with the acacia plant, which is a dimethyltryptamine, which is the basics you're working with, and it's amazing rebirthing. It's just as you know, the pineal gland produces dimethyltryptamine in the body naturally, and the pineal is your reopening, and you're connecting with a death experience while you're still living.
Right.
And when we're born, we have dimethyltryptamine produced in our body. We have a massive amount produced, and that is like the birth experience, I believe. When we die, we have a massive amount produced in our body, and people say see the light, they see the brightness, and that is naturally produced. It's produced in the pineal gland in the mind. That's where it's actually produced in the body. So when you can bring this on in a natural state and understand and connect where you are, fucking amazing. That's all I can say, fucking amazing. And I can see it in you. I can see your smile. I can see your energy. You've changed a lot since you've done it. It's amazing. It's amazing, Christopher. Eh?
Yeah.
I see in your energy. I feel it.
Yeah. Just when I first heard about the medicine, I was already blown away that, you know, what people were saying about it, different people's experiences, and how it just sort of put you in touch with so much. It was, and then to actually sort of be involved and go through the experience was wonderful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just felt so privileged and grateful. It was funny the first night. All I did was I was crouched. I sat up for as long as I could, so I felt that was like more comfortable and respectful and everything like that. But eventually it was like I was just weighed down, so I'm sloped down with my hands like this, and I just must have just said thank you. wow, thank you, thank you. And it was just like everything just kept like, there was just so much beauty in the colours and the light and everything. So I could tell like with the moods and often change. So it was like I was challenged with sort of almost scary faces and horrible feelings. But if I concentrated on my breathing and stayed in the heart, everything was okay. And I'd see
Beautiful
joy, and I'd feel joy, and I'd feel beauty. But as soon as I doubted myself,
lost it.
It was like I'd sink down into the unpleasant.
Whoa.
It was just.
Wasn't that the best time to do it? Sorry, wasn't that the best time to do the experience after learning about the heart space, connecting with all us amazing people? It was definitely the right time. When you said originally you're going to do it in January or something earlier in the year, whenever it was, and now was the right time. And you look at you, so you can look at your expression and how you're radiating now. It was the right time. How perfect.
Yeah. It just felt perfect. It was like everything was falling into place and
magic.
And it was just meant to be, sort of thing. Yeah. Beautiful. So I kept trying to make it happen, but then I couldn't get the time off work. Then I had to spend some money on my dogs because one of my dogs got sick, and it was just like I was pushing it and it wasn't happening. So it was like, right, okay, I'm just going to leave this and stop focusing on it, kind of thing. And then I had a session cancelled with Ashen, or postponed, sorry, till the next day. And that night that the session was cancelled, a friend that I hadn't seen for weeks, more like months, phoned me up out the blue and said, "Hey, Chris, do you still want to do the ayahuasca? We're both thinking of going." And then it just sort of all fell into place from there, kind of. So it was brilliant to just feel the alignment and the synchronicity of everything. I was blown away. Really was.
There's one question I need one question I need to ask. Does one cup make you feel sick? Do you actually vomit on one cup, or do you get to that point of toxicity or not?
The first night I had the half a cup. I went an hour and a half. I believe it was an hour and a half, possibly 2 hours before they offer more medicine to the whole group. There's 20 of us, and I was just like, I felt really good and calm, and everything was brilliant. Awesome. But I didn't feel anything from the actual medicine the first half a cup. So then I got up and had the second half, and then it was like 5-10 minutes. It was I felt the flow of everything. It was like as soon as the shaman would do a little rattle, it was like beautiful. I could feel all the creepy crawlies, the ants. It was like it started from the earth and then sort of it would rise, kind of thing. So it was awesome. Magic.
Amazing experience. Beautiful.
It was beautiful. And I must say, it was like the connection that we all have in this group that was really helping me through, because it was like I could feel the love. So I'd be thinking of you guys. I remember thinking of a guy. I remember thinking of Gabriel, Marina, Angelica. And
we're all sending you lots of love. When you're doing it, we're all sending you lots of love. I knew we all were, and lots of good thoughts about doing it. And we all were, and I know you're feeling it, eh? Awesome.
It was fascinating, and it was like I felt a love for like all the like the spiritual teachers I've listened to, all the activists that I've followed and been learning from over the last sort of 4 or 5 years. It was like I could feel the connection with everyone I'd sort of experienced, kind of thing.
Wow.
Even down to the owner of a local vegan cafe, who's like a real lovely Indian guy who's like really into the community. He helps local artists. He puts their paintings in his cafe, and he uses local vegetables and all this sort of thing. So, and he was like there. There's another guy who runs a community centre. I went to visit him today because I could feel him through the ceremony as well. So it was just the endless connection, almost like every time you've seen a bird, or every time you've enjoyed watching fish in the pond or something. It was like you could just feel everything. but then it also had the opposite almost as well. So that was when it would get challenging. It was almost like if you doubted something, you'd feel the not so nice side.
Yeah, yeah.
The
So
hallucinatory
yin and the yang.
It's a really
yin and yang, both balances.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. But it was like the courage I felt. I was proud. Hi, Gabriel.
Hello, Chris.
Hi,
There was
buddy.
no vomiting. I have been told the vomiting is kind of mandatory.
Yes,
yeah, I believe the same.
Yes, there was
I've told the same.
Yeah, first night. The first night, I
Yeah, it's just
think
vomiting,
it was
isn't it?
probably about three or four times, and then the second night, I lost count. I really
Oh.
did. The last night.
Okay.
Even for like the lady who was helping, she'd empty the buckets and make sure everyone was okay. She had like changed. She was like, at one point, the lady helping me was just like almost, you can imagine a Grim Reaper without the face. And she was offering me water, and it was like I'd been drinking water over and over. But yeah, I think the second night, I think I was purging or sick probably about 8 to 10 times.
Yeah,
It was like loads was coming. Yeah, and when I'd be sick in the bucket, I'd see like my sick would be like the tail of like a dragon or a spirit or something. So everything was kind of in spirits and all kinds of stuff. So almost too much. Like someone said, describe what was happening as I was purging. There was just way too much going on for me to fully understand. It was like the spirits of energy of everything. But I can just remember trying to focus on my breathing as I'm being sick. And even then there was like another animal that was sitting somewhere looking up at me like this. Like, I'm sort of breathing. But it was the funny thing with the being sick, it never hurt. It never it's unpleasant at the time and uncomfortable, but there was no soreness or there's no like achy anything afterwards.
It's just releasing.
Yeah. I remember having like a real heavy headache after the first ceremony, but that just totally cleared by the end of the second ceremony. So there was there was so much going on. But and when I was purging, it was like I'd filled up 20 buckets. It was like, it seemed like so much. And I was saying, come on, try and drink. This will help you, Chris. Drink some water. This will help you. But it was like I'd been drinking gallons and gallons, and I could only just get the water to my mouth. So I was really, but yeah, the courage, I think, is what I took from it, and trust. Trust was a big thing. Trusting in myself and trusting in the universe and trying to accept it. But so yeah, really. Yeah, I think I'd recommend it anyway. Definitely. I know everyone always says it's not for everyone, so I can see why they say that. But I always quite enjoyed that sort of experimenting with the unknown. I've always sort of had that when I was young. When I was young, I was like really shy and insecure about everything. But when it came to taking drugs, it was like, yes, please. Yeah. So yeah, definitely.
That sounds great.
But like you said,
It sounds like you really had a good experience, and
yeah. And I think I think
that's the important thing about doing the drugs. So if someone is inclined to do so, that it's like not, oh, we have to get away from it, but how can we do it in a like beneficial way to us?
Yeah,
beneficial.
Totally.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and in a safe environment as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know one thing that did stood out, or still does stand out to me, because it's been 2 weeks now, so it's quite a bit to sort of digest and everything. But it was like the connection with all the other people there. There was 20 of us, and it was like there was 2 people that were quite sort of separate to the group.
Sure they do.
One was even like trying to challenge everything. He was like eating meat, and his thing was he had his own idea of doing his own meat diet or something. So there was two guys that didn't quite were a bit out of it, but everybody else was like completely just loving each other and really being there for each other. You know, it was like this went from stranger to best friend, and just like that sort of thing. So that was the magic kind of thing.
That
was
is the
lovely.
ceremony.
Yeah. And so I've tried not to overthink it and just let sort of what it is. But it's nice to talk about it. So thanks for asking anyway. It's been really good to talk to you about it. Because normally I talk to people about it and it's like there's a few people who don't. A guy in the crystal shop down the road, me and him talk a lot, but a lot of the time when I mention it like people tend to want to change the subject quickly.
I want to talk about it. I want to explore it. I want to know about it.
Yeah.
In Australia, I have to share with you, we have dimethyltryptamine, the same thing. It comes from the acacia plants and it's extracted into a powder, into DMT powder, and it's only taken 4 or 5 crystals is taken on a cone with passion flower as the inhibitor, 3 or 4 grains of that, and that's all you need. And that gives you 15 minutes of intense dimethyltryptamine experience with no sickness and no other sides. If you want to do a whole journey, that's what you've done. But the idea of this is to have the experience, and you can actually have all the complete connection experience without the vomiting and without the whole, I'm not into the vomiting. I know people have done ceremonies and that's very important. But to me, it works for some people, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing to explore. I haven't done it for a few years now, but it's a very interesting thing to explore. And it really brings us back to a different person. It brings the inner self out, I feel.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
Sure.
That's my input to it. Magic. I'm glad you shared it, and you've got such a glow to you now. You've changed. Your energy has changed a hell of a lot since I first met you, Christopher, online, and it's amazing. I just see it. It's like, bing.
Wow.
Do you feel that?
You.
Do you feel that in yourself? The difference in you?
Yeah. I feel different. When I came back, it was almost like I kept switching between like that was the best thing ever, and was that really even helpful in the slightest?
Oh, okay.
So I had that like different thoughts switching, but then it's all sort of became clear now. Yeah.
You bet you like to overthink things, right?
Yes. Yeah. That came up in the ceremony, like, stop it, Chris, stop it. Almost at one point I remember trying to think something, and it was almost like I remember like a flash of colours, but it was almost like a sort of slap on the face of, oh, stop it, snap out of that sort of thing. Yeah. As if it was just telling me to sort of like one of my things I've always struggled with, I always get frustrated with my English. Although it's my first language and only language, I still struggle with English. And it was almost like I
That's
was
funny,
sort of
What's the problem with your English?
Just don't worry about it. Sorry, Gabriel?
What's the problem with your English?
Just that I get frustrated with like long words that I don't understand. So it's just like the vocabulary side of it, where I don't really know all the words, or when someone uses long words and I don't understand it. It's like, only about 5 years ago, I actually started I'd read something and then go, I don't know what that means. I'll look up in the dictionary. Whereas I've never done that. I used to just be like frustrated with it or whatever.
Yeah, that's good. Just like looking up, it's what gets you out of this.
Yeah.
I do this a lot with English, you know. When I watch an English TV series and there's a word I don't know, I stop the series and look it up and I continue.
Yeah.
I do this with everything. Like if there's some weird medical term on a medical show, I stop the thing and look it up.
Yeah. Yeah,
If you do this for a time, it really accumulates.
yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, I've got a bit of a thing with reading. I'm working on it a lot more, but I'll read books and like not be able to sort of quite grasp it, what they're on about, kind of thing. But yeah. That's why because I tried to stay away from the internet for a
Oh, it's crap without. I can't see.
But Ashen
long
wanted
time,
to
so I kind of
be
thought it was the same as TV. Like YouTube was like my. Pardon?
Ashen wanted to be back, right?
Yes.
She organised a chat for everybody, so this is it, and Ashen's coming. It's pretty late over there, is it, Gabriel? Late at night?
It's about midnight, so it's
Oh yeah.
well, it's not too late for me anyway.
Ah, wow. So what's the weather? You guys have got autumn over there, haven't? No, sorry, spring over there, haven't you?
Weather is we had
Yeah.
actually it's quite intense right now. We had a lot of, what's the English word when it's like little
Cold?
ice balls dropping from the sky?
Ice balls,
Hail,
snow,
right?
snow.
It was hailing, like
Hailing.
quite intensely.
But temperature-wise, it's warmer over there than here. Isn't it spring over there?
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't. Okay, but cold. Okay.
Yeah, cold and rainy in England
Yeah, well,
at the
yes.
moment.
Yeah, but it's
All the
always
vegetables.
cold and rainy in England. That's not.
Yeah, it's always cold and rainy in England. I went there 25 years ago and it was cold and rainy. I'm sure it still is. Come out, you guys come out to Australia, come out to Perth, come out and see some warm weather. Come out in summer when it's 42 degrees.
Oh,
That's warm. Love it. I love summer.
Yeah.
I'm coming over to
same,
Amsterdam in June, so I'm going to that, and also with my lovely lady, and we're going to Switzerland as well. So, and we're going to drop into Germany. We're doing a whole journey this time. That's our thing I'm doing. So I can't wait. 24th of June. Won't be long now. Get away from our winter. That's my plan. That's happening. Yeah.
How much winter do you get over there? It's warmer than here, right?
Sorry.
How bad is winter over there? It's warmer than here, I think.
Winter over here, maybe, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, 15 degrees in winter.
Is that Celsius or Fahrenheit?
15 degrees during the day and maybe 5 degrees at night. And to me, that's freezing.
You mean Celsius, or you mean what kind of degrees?
Zero degrees sometimes, 0 degrees sometimes in the morning, and maybe 15 degrees during the day. And you know what? That's bloody freezing for me. You guys think that's warm, eh?
Yeah, kind of is.
Oh, Ashen's coming back on.
Awesome. I saw something in the top. Beautiful.
Yeah.
No, Gabriel, that is cold. When you're not used to being cold, that is cold. I know you look at it and think, wow, that's really, really warm. I'm like, no, that's cold.
Be 10 minutes. Anyway, good to chat, fellas. Nice to chat. So I think Ashen's coming in shortly.
Yeah, I understood as much that she wants to be here again.
Yeah, this has been a very good program, getting to do something totally different, meeting different people, and no, it's been awesome. How can I say? It's a learning for me to use technology. I'm not a technical person, and I've only just worked out how to put my photo up. You know, these things have just taken me a long time to make happen. It's like 4 months to make it actually process to work. That's like, wow. That's me.
Yeah. Yeah, and just getting comfortable talking on camera has always been the problem for me. So yeah, it's nice to sort of get used to that, and even when you do feel a bit nervous or whatever, to just sort of just cope with it and carry on, kind of thing. Yeah.
But I think the big thing for all this for me is to realise we have everything's inside. We are our own gurus, and we have all our information within us. And it's just accessing what we already have and finding how to reconnect what we know. I think and how to remember what we've learned, what we've lost. I think that's the important thing for this whole lot for me. And Ashton's amazing. She's a very good person to teach us and help us learn, and also help us learn from ourselves as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
So how long does it take to get from England to Amsterdam? It only takes an hour in the tunnel, does it?
The route we took, it was about an hour drive to the airport, maybe a little bit less. We flew from Luton instead of London. So so about an hour's drive, and then about 50 minute flight, I think it was. And then boom, you're in Amsterdam. We went a different way. I forget it's called. It's a funny word that I couldn't quite pronounce. But we landed in a different area. We didn't land in Amsterdam because it was cheaper. It was cheaper for us to land somewhere else and then get we got 2 trains. So then we were on a train for about 2 hours in total, and it was just, it worked out cheaper for us. So I think I spent about £80 to get there and back, so that wasn't bad. Yeah,
that's right.
Really
that's good. Hi, Ashton. I have a face back.
Ah, she's back.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Everybody.
Hello.
Okay. Awesome. Just checking who is still here, who's tuned in. Angelica, Marina, Gabriel, Lakia, Chris. So I'm gonna start here as we usually do when we're saying goodbye and just closing in, and just go through each person as they show up first on the screen. And I just wanted to really express first what I wanted to do in this communication time together, because obviously when you guys are just talking amongst each other, it's pretty free reign, but as this is the program, I just want to give some structure to it, and say that I really wanted to have this conversation to find out how has the program affected you, how have things changed in your life, and just anything about your current life that you feel like sharing. How was your day? Like really also just to hear from you a little bit in anything that you might want to express or share. So Gabriel, I see you on first. If you wanna come on and say hi.
I can go first if I have to.
I don't know, maybe it's like the order of like your name alphabetically, but you're always right next to me when I sign in, so that's why. So how are you today? How have you observed the program change things for you, or anything that you just want to share and express?
Okay, today is these days are still a bit difficult because the flashbacks are still going on. But it's
yeah, you posted in the group.
I managed pretty well, I think. So it's something that has happened before, and I know how to manage it. It's just a bit annoying and stuff. And I have a nice doctor who understands this, and brought me a sick leave for this, and so I have some space. The program in general, I don't know, there's so many things. I think it's really beautiful how the group formed and how the dynamic allowed us to be like, experience this together and help each other in the program. So it was like really a sense of taking this journey together, and not just like, oh, there's a teacher in the front and he's telling us stuff, but like really the group spirit that formed. Important things for me were like the soul retrieval stuff was super important for me, because there were a lot of things inside me which wanted to be heard and understood, and this has been going on before in belief work, but I feel that that only took me so far, that like that didn't quite allow these aspects to express themselves fully, and so this was like very important like thing for me to discover, and it's also extremely fun doing this. I enjoy this tremendously. Also, getting in touch with the Teal Swan work was quite nice, which actually quite a number of the group people here are in some way connected to. And that wasn't...
As I am an active Teal Tribe member, that's how a lot of people found me.
And that was important for me, and I feel in some way a lot of this energy is also present in your work, the way I receive this.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so what else? I feel I had a lot of space to explore stuff for myself. That was really, I value this a lot, and feel more in my center and my power, and worked out really, really nicely. So I had really not really any idea what you were gonna do in your program. It was just a feeling that I wanted to be in.
Yes. I know that when you joined, you hadn't really like known me for very long or followed me for very long. I totally acknowledge that and know that.
It was quite interesting to discover actually what your program is about and how this works and how this structures everything. Actually, if you don't mind, it has been a few months, so I don't know if you even remember, and it's perfectly fine if you don't.
Yeah.
But where did you actually find me? I someday got this invite, and is this something you still have on your mind?
Honestly, like I just intuitively I intuitively will add people that I feel in alignment with. I really don't remember like where I first, because like when I first added you, it was just a screen name and an image, and I didn't really look too much at your profile or anything. But it's our first communication together that has really touched me. So I also just wanted to say that I super honor our connection, and just your energetic contribution to this program has been amazing, and it's really touched me to have you as part of the program. Awesome. Okay, So as much as I would like to honestly sit here and talk for hours, I'm gonna just make sure that everybody has a chance to speak while I still
Go
have
ahead.
energy to continue. Is there
feel
any
I
last
have-
things that you want to say? Or?
Go ahead. I feel I've expressed what I had on my mind today, so I'm comfortable to give it on to the next one.
So, Christopher, how are you today? What's going on with you? How's this program affected you? Just how are you today as well?
Yes, I'm really good. Yeah, I had a little bit of trouble recently with a few bits and pieces that I probably won't be able to explain. But then the last few days, something just seemed to click into place, and then I felt a lot better, and I've had an amazing weekend. It's probably been the best weekend I've had for quite some time.
Awesome.
Where I've just been sort of, I've been getting all my plant. The rain's really bad here, so I've been like growing my own seeds and growing my own veg. So I've been putting them into pots and then into bigger pots, and my house is all just full of pots and plants everywhere. So I've been doing that. I've made the effort a lot more with being sort of disciplined with my timing of everything. So the time I get up, time to myself with I do sort of stretching and just breathing exercises. I sort of come and go with the meditation. That's sometimes I'll be like every night, and then again sometimes I won't meditate for like a couple of weeks, or whether I meditate but do it in a different way, I don't fully know. But in general, so like the routine, trying to walk my dogs at a certain set time so that I'm not rushing around, so I make time for them and myself, so I get a good start to the day. So yeah, I had a great weekend. Something clicked. I'm trying to keep this short, but something clicked the other day. You know, when I commented on Elizabeth's Facebook post or something in the morning, I don't really remember doing, but I was having quite a funny, tough time up to that point. But then when I done that, and then I spoke to Elizabeth, everything from then on suddenly clicked into place, and I was back on complete track again. So I thought that was really
expressed
interesting.
to me she was really happy to work things out with you and talk to you. I think that really meant a lot to her. Yeah,
it was lovely that she could, because I didn't quite realise I had upset her like I did, sort of thing. So that was, and it taught me about, although it was like reteaching me about how my energy, if I don't think or I don't say, sometimes I say things without thinking, or being too considerate. I just do things normally when things aren't so good. So I definitely learned something about that.
Everybody has those moments, absolutely.
Yeah, and it was like almost like learning from mistakes, that it's okay to make mistakes. It can be a really good way to learn. So yeah, I sort of felt that. And then coming to the program, I think what's been massive for me was the self-love thing. That really helped, almost like forgiving myself. I finally forgiven myself when I sort of would describe it as wasting my years and wasting, time and life so precious, but I was wasting it because I was hurt, or I was in pain, or for whatever reason. So I've really learned to love myself and everything. And then just connection to earth and to everything, to the wildlife, animals. It's really strengthened my connection completely. Like, yeah, I can't really even express that with words at all. I remember being like, as a young child, fascinated when I found a frog or something. I mean, like, wow! It's almost like I've sort of got that passion back and appreciation. So that's been massive for me, like just enjoying trees and simple conversation with strangers is massive for me. You can often find strangers that you can rely on. That rang a bell for me, because I found that lately, where I can often meet people on the street and they go from stranger to something a lot closer really quickly. So that's been great. And connecting with everyone, the humanness of everything. I suppose my love and admiration for humans that is totally different now to it was 4 months ago. Whereas I've always thought, yeah, some are good, some are bad, but now I kind of see that we're all good, we're all powerful, we're all brilliant, we're all everything great, and we just have our different ways. So. And the unity thing, I've always known was something to do with the unity consciousness. So I'm starting to feel that a lot more. So yeah.
I appreciate so much just your energy in the program, your connection, and I just want to say that it has been such a pleasure for you to be a part of this, and I've really honored, you know, just seeing how the content has affected you in different ways, or, you know, seeing when you make a breakthrough. And I also honor seeing when you're like, oh, you know, like that, like, you know, I'm not feeling right now, like that. I also totally honor, you know, just your entire process in the program. And I just wanted to say that it truly, from the bottom of my heart, just I honor your participation in the program, and the connection that we've shared through the program as well.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone. It's been lovely watching everyone else as well. I was loving watching your videos, Angelica, and just watching you and the guy doing the channeling, and watching your videos of everything you were sharing. It was like, yeah, it's brilliant. It was lovely to see everyone, and oh yeah, so yeah, feel it here. So yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks Ashen. Thank you.
So I want to take a chance to say something myself as well before we continue on with everybody else's time to speak and stuff. So I just want to say that overall, for me, the program, you know, as Gabriel was saying before, like, you know, I didn't even really know how this was going to turn out either. I knew my manifestation, I knew the seed that I was planting, but I had no idea how it would actually, you know, come to life, spring to life. So this whole thing has been really, truly exceptional for me. And, you know, as much as, you know, I have honored everybody here, as much as it has been an amazing experience, it's also been challenging too, you know, as a leader and as a light worker, and as, you know, as somebody who coaches and works with people, to be so open and vulnerable, and, you know, just having everybody have their voice and their speaking, and trying to keep the group on track, and kind of, you know, keep the group, you know, into the heart space and where it is. You know, it's been challenging for me too, and there's been things that have been lessons coming up for me too, just with the whole group interaction. So I just wanted to say that it's overall, it's been so beautiful, and it's been a learning curve for me as well. I also just want to say that I totally honor everybody's expression here, but you know, we go for about 3 hours, and even with the break, you know, I emotionally feel like I really need to get off in the next 10 minutes or so. So I'm gonna ask everybody to try to keep what they have to say to about a minute, and just to be conscious of the time here. And I totally honor everything that everybody has said, but just so everybody is aware that I really do need to keep it brief still. So I'm gonna let everybody else go, and if everybody could just honor my time, and the fact that I need to keep it brief at this point. So Quentin, it's your turn. You're next on the screen numbering, if you want to say anything.
Okay, 1 minute. Blah, 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 finished. No, thank you very much, everybody. It's been amazing. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot more about to go inside and feel how we're feeling from our inside. Learned a lot about validating how I'm feeling, and also understanding where I'm coming from. So that's also, thank you, Ashen, and everybody else for validating and being there for us, because we've all been amazing. And this group is awesome, how it came together, how Ashen put out for it, and the right people turned up. We are all the right people to connect. And I felt that from the beginning, and it's like, wow, it's a blessing that it all happened that way. And I understand, Ashen, it's been a huge learning for all of us.
Oh,
being
yeah.
in a different time schedule than everybody, I understand that. And you guys are up at 12 o'clock at night, and now it's early in the morning. And I understand it's been a challenge, and I appreciate the challenges, and I appreciate how well it's all worked. And, you know, it's been a test for me as well, because I'm always thought I was patient, always thought I had all these things in me. And this has been tests on different levels I didn't knew were there. So it's awesome. And that's it. I need to say thank you very much, everybody, and much love. I keep sending out the beautiful love for everybody, and we all have it within us. And thank you for helping us bring it out, Ashen. Lots of love for now. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Quentin, for what you said and your contribution to just being here as well. Just gonna flip over. Angelica, how are you doing today, sweetie? Is there anything that you need to say and open up about?
I'm actually pretty tired today and feeling a little less, not so my bubbly normal self, but that's okay, right? I feel like this program has just kind of began to really enter me into the heart space and really kind of get me into like opening up and as you know, Ashen, I'm not so great with words. It's more telepathic, and it's trying to express all of that everything that I feel and all the gratitude towards everybody. And it's hard to really express that for me, especially, you know, on the spot. So I just
I get that.
yeah. So just thank you to everybody so far. And I feel like this is really starting to really crack me open as far as self-love and love for others and honoring myself and others and everything that the heart space entails. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. And I mean, you already know that I feel just such a strong connection to you. Like every time like it's your turn to speak, and like think just little things like you saying like, you know, I'm not really feeling like, you know, that like I'm feeling more like calm and quiet. It's like I literally acknowledged that earlier when we were on. So it's just so crazy to me that I always just get to like re-experience like the telepathic connection that we have and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know that I honor you so much, and just thank you so much for being a part of it all with me, and it's been amazing.
It's my pleasure.
Hi, Gaia, sweetie. Are you listening? Do you have anything to say? How you're doing, or how the program has affected you in any way?
Hi. The sound is really low, so I was having the phone in my ear. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you perfect.
Okay. Yeah, all these things that have been said, like the self-love and the connections, and also being tired. I had also a long day. No, but it's been, I feel also my words cannot express what I feel inside.
That's okay.
Yeah. And, but I feel much activated in a lot of levels, and exploring and gifted by dreams and ideas popping, and just feeling so in the center. And I love that very much. And also all the group members, like a group is not, you can put any people together and the group will come, and it has such a potential. And I hope we will still continue to support each other. I really wish that. And there's so many strong people who, you just see the beauty so much easy when you see the people in their sessions and expressing themselves, and it's really touching me. And so thank you for everything. And I find it amazing. I mean, you must be a super intelligent being to just this session, also how you spoke. I just know when we listen to it, or when I listen to it, it's such a gift, all the recordings also. So thank you for everything, Ashen, and very grateful.
Oh, thank you so much, sweetie, and I honor
Now I have
your
to come to
Oh, thank you
close.
so much. Thank you so much for saying so, sweetie, and I honor you and your connection to the group, and it's just been amazing to work with you, and thank you for everything that you said. Marina, you're the last one on my screen, sweetie. How are you doing, or is there anything that you want to say?
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to say that this program has definitely helped me be more softer in all of my endeavors of self-work and self-healing and world healing. And I definitely a lot and have experienced so many layers of the self through all of you, actually. So yeah, the group is just really beautiful. Like, it really just makes sense to have a group to really see each other. And I just felt I resonated with every single person and every single issue. And I really honored Ash and you holding space for everybody. How incredible that is, to just hold space for this many people and for all of our stuff. Like, it's just amazing. It's really amazing. And I honor you, Ashton, so much for that, and give you so much credit for your abilities and your love and strength and compassion and all of that. And it's I think helped all of us to find more of that in ourselves. And yeah, I'm just finding, this is like what Angelica said, it's kind of like the beginning, like scratching the surface of just like even opening up to all the possibilities of ourselves, and how beautiful this experience has been. Thank you.
Thank you so much for saying so, and I just feel honored by your words. So that means a lot to me. I just wanted to let you know. It truly does to be seen. As much as I've held space for all of you guys, I just felt very seen by you right now, Marina, and that meant a lot. So thank you to everybody for being a part of this program, for being here, for sharing, for getting into your vulnerabilities. And as many of you have said, you know, it's within you. You know, I was only ever just a mirror to hold space and to support you. You know, you would have never been a part of this program if you weren't ready for this connection, for this growth, for, you know, all of this has been a commitment that you have made to yourself, within yourself. And it you know, I just want to say that give yourselves the credit, guys, as well. You know, as much as you can honor and thank me, this is something that you have done for yourself, and I honor that in everybody. I'm gonna tune off now, guys, but if everybody just wants to say a last goodbye, and I'll see you for the next group meeting.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thanks everybody.
What an amazing.
Have a happy full moon, everybody. It can be
Happy full moon!
Happy full moon.
Happy pink full moon, isn't it? It's the pink full moon.
Oh my gosh.
Bye-bye. Lots of love, everybody.
Love.
Lots of love. See you soon. Wonderful week.
Bye-bye. Have a great week. Which way? Here we go to find
Thanks.
leaving.
Thanks, Quentin. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. How we turn off now?